Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And as you guys are well aware by now, if you've, unless you have literally just downloaded the game today, we are within the midst of the 5-year anniversary. Specifically, we are in the middle of part 2 of the anniversary. But with all major celebrations comes the opening, the sort of semi-permanent opening of Super Battle Road. And, considering there's not a whole lot going on in-game, unless you're still grinding those free-to-play units and such, might as well just try some no-item runs. And in this 5-year anniversary, I would say I've had, not fire luck. I kind of had to brute force my way a copy of Gogeta. I had pretty good luck on Vegito's banner. But Gogeta, he gave me fits. But in all of my summons, I actually finally pulled a few units I actually had 0 copies of, and I now have copies of. And one of them was Tech Caulifla. The other two being AGL Nail and Oceanus Shenron. I finally now have copies of all 3 of them, which means I have most banner units in the game even, which is, very, very good, right? So anyway, guys, she is an absolute crazy mad woman in this stage, the Universal Survival Saga stage. If you are unfamiliar with her kit, she gets guaranteed, that is a 100% chance to dodge against all Pure Saiyans enemies and all Universal Survival Saga enemies, which is this entire stage. Every last enemy is a Universal Survival Saga. Well, and then some of them are even Pure Saiyans, but all of them are Universal Survival Saga, which means she has a 100% guaranteed chance to dodge. Very, very clutch for an event such as this, especially when you are attempting no item runs, which I know I've been a little off my game lately. Just been a lot to do, right? A lot of content to make on the channel. I haven't been prioritizing the no item runs, but obviously I'm trying to get back in the saddle. And this was a good one to kind of get my feet wet again in doing the no item runs. This one was actually not too bad. The only problem that I would encounter is the friend leads, man. They really need to do something about the friend system in Dokkan. I really hope they do it sooner rather than later. It's really, really annoying having to use a 0% in the dupe system friend for something as challenging as Super Battle Road. It's like, dude, Akatsuki, come on. At least give us a 55%er. Like, literally, there's nothing in the potential system for these guys. So all they are just sitting there at SA 10. So anyway, that was kind of an issue, but definitely having 2 Jirens on the team was a big part of this run as well. Being able, his ability to get those stuns. He has this ability to stun the whole entire rotation, which is obviously OP, but it only activates 30% of the time. So that's, that's obviously very, it can be hit and miss, right? You can either get it, it seems like you get it every single time, or like you never get it. And it just seems to really be no in between. And then there's Tech Caulifla, of course, an integral part of this run, just tanking every single attack for 0 damage. You can't ask for much more. The best tank is the unit that can't get hit at all. And then you have UI Goku as well. Having that 70% chance to dodge, kicking in actually quite a bit in this run. Had pretty good luck with UI Goku, to be honest with you. I think the thing is having only one of him. I think it's really, it just is really good. Like, you don't expect as much. And if he gets tagged every now and then, it's okay. Like, here's Jiren getting his stun ability, by the way. And this is the friend Jiren with 0% in the dupe system. So this was really, really nice. I didn't have to break up my rotation or anything. But, it just makes him, I feel like, look a little bit better. When you have a double UI Goku lead, and he's not really dodging that much, it really kind of, exposes him a little bit for what he is, and that is, he's a little bit RNG dependent, and that's okay. A lot of units are. I mean, think of like a unit like Int Gotenks, like when he comes to the global side of the game. Like, dude, his whole passive is RNG dependent when he gets into Super Saiyan 3. That's where I really think Super Buu takes a big step up on Int Gotenks. I think the first 2 forms of Gotenks are probably better than Buu. But then when Super Buu gets to be Super Buu, he does what he does. He's a crazy, crazy man, for sure. I mean, this whole team, specifically in the upcoming months on the global side of the game, is going to be just, it's going to be overloaded with, strong units. Tech Caulifla She will be getting her Dokkan Awakening along with STR Kale. So talking specifically about Caulifla, so when she comes to the global side of the game, well, she's here, but when she gets her Dokkan Awakening, it's kind of crazy because she gets additional evade chance when there are Universe 6 or Peppy Gals on the team. So, you know, it's very, very easy to get her kind of full potential going. So she gets 8% per category that you have. So like if they share multiple categories, of course, that'll slap on an extra 8%, right? She also has a chance of performing an additional super attack as well. So when there's a Kale on the team. So this whole team is just, it's really, really good. Of course, like we'll be getting the LR Blue boys, the blue, what do you even call them? The, I forget what Havahai calls them, but you know, Beyond Blue, the LR Beyond Blue. So we'll be getting them, you know, fairly soon, followed probably by LR Jiren. Like LR Jiren is freaking crazy, probably as you would expect an LR Jiren card to be. Just very, very strong, of course, right? Like he is like 200% attack and defense and and super effective against all types in most situations. He's absolutely crazy, just utterly crazy. You know, at the rainbow level, I've seen him hit for, you know, 5-6 million unsupported, basically. Super effective against all types. Well, unsupported is probably not accurate, but usually you have God Topo on that rotation with him, who's just providing him monstrous support. God Topo, I mean, that's a unit all in of himself, right? Like, he's a crazy, crazy boy as well. He gets like 70% damage reduction, man. he's kind of like MVP 17, but honestly kind of a little bit better, you know, if we're being honest. Kind of weird also how they're doing these easy A just now. The fact that they just sort of skipped ahead, like they literally skipped ahead like 10 Dokkan Fests or something like that in easy A-ing Topo and Dispo. So remember that, you know, up until this point, they have easy awakened Extreme Z awaken, that is, from their corresponding Dokkan medal that they awakened from originally. So, for instance, when Tech Gotenks got his Extreme Z awakening, at that point, it kind of opened the floodgates for the Fizz Seal tanks and then the STR Gotenks with Ghost unit to get their Easy A. And then, of course, like when Fizz Gotenks, when he Extreme Z awakens, or quote, when his time is here to Extreme Z Awaken, then the STR and the AGL Gotenkses, the base form Gotenkses, they can then get their awakenings, right? I guess the AGL one, he Dokkan awakens into a Super Saiyan Gotenks, so there you go. But at that point, that would, you know, generally speaking, that's when other units will get their Easy A's. Well, if you think about it that way, you know, Topo and Dispo are way, way, way ahead of the curve because they would have been due up for their Extreme Z Awakenings when Jiren did. Which, who knows if category leaders are even getting Easy A's. I presume at this point that every unit in the game at some point will get an Easy A. I mean, you don't know, right? You never know which unit is going to be next, is what I mean. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to assume that most units are going to be getting Extreme Z Awakenings. I don't really see at this point why they wouldn't do that. The only thing I could see is like, so for instance, the one that comes to mind is like SS4 Gogeta. What would Bandai, so if you're a company and you want to make money off of unsuspecting fools who, you know, spend money on the game, right? If you want to spend money on this game, you know, or if they want you to spend money on this game, would they rather Extreme Z Awaken an old SS4 Gogeta with like old summoning animations and this and that, or think about this, they have you summon for a new one, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Now that's kind of the cynical perspective, right? But I think it is very possible that category leaders get their Easy A's. What do you do with the categories? I mean, all you do is just beef them up a little bit. You make them current with today's meta. You know, you make them 170 all the way around. You know, maybe you do key 4. Like, you can't do too much. I feel like they're not really going to move beyond 177 for a very long time. I mean, look at this. So, like I've mentioned, like in other videos and such, like when the links update. Like, the links updating has completely turned the game on its head. You've got a unit like AGL Gohan, who now gets like 75% attack from links, which is crazy. And his links are not that hard to get. He's got like, I mean, Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, that type of stuff, right? Legendary Power. that type of stuff. So like a unit like that, or, you know, I was just talking today with the homie Maximus. Shout out to the homie Maximus, of course. But like, think of a unit like Fizz Omega Shenron. Fizz Omega Shenron now, he now has, I believe if my addition is correct, I think he's got 60% defense just from links alone. And you combine that with his now, you know, or his still 40% reduction in attack, all of a sudden he's not fodder anymore. I would dare say he's usable again with 60% defense and 40% reduction in attack, right? I mean, that's very, very good. So this is going to completely change how we play the game, how we build teams moving forward. I mean, this is not just like some small little update. Like, yes, the links desperately needed to be updated, right? Flat boosted links are just not a thing anymore. I'm sorry. And the thing is like when you look at them, they are not even really factored into like calculations. Why they're irrelevant is because flat boosts are calculated last when you're talking about links, which is why when you activate something like Saiyan Warrior Race, you literally only get plus 700 attack. It's not like it's multiplied in. It's just added on at the very end. Go watch the video that the homie Nolar did. Nolar did a full breakdown of how units' stats are calculated. It's very, very, actually it's very interesting if you are into the sort of the math side of Dokkan. Very, very interesting. So anyway, guys, this link update is no small update, not at all, not in the least, and I think that's really going to change the way that they build EZAs moving forward as well. Because again, I keep bringing up the example, like let's bring up another example, like LR Tech Broly, for instance. LR Tech Broly, you know, he's a unit that like his links are pretty easy to activate, I would say, other than Berserker, of course. And then you have that post-calculated active skill buff, that 48% active skill buff. And now with all of these crazy links, you know, Super Saiyan, Legendary Power, it can be up to 15% attack when launched. I mean, that's, you compare that to plus 5,000 when launched. I mean, that's bananas, guys. I mean, I hope you I just hope you guys can really appreciate how crazy that is. He's shelling out like 15 million attack stats now on the JP side. At link level 10, of course, and it's not easy to get them to link level 10, but even still. Now, I know we haven't done much talking about this run, so let's touch on it a little bit here. So we've got Tech Caulifla and we've got UI Goku. As you've been able to tell throughout the duration of this event, they've been a rotation, and you've got this unit. So look at all of those attacks in the middle slot. Look at this. If I can just get UI Goku to dodge the two big ones from Evolution Blue Vegeta, we're good to go. There's one, so he dodges one. So if he even takes an attack from someone else, I don't really care. As long as he dodges the two from Vegeta, we are good to go, and the no item run, I think, will be intact. Now, in the meantime, though, we do have to do enough damage because I was not able to stall the Dokkan attack, unfortunately. You know, with a unit like Tech Caulifla on the team, she's just not doing enough damage to where we were going to be able to stall it. It just kind of is what it is, right? Also, Tech Caulifla, I do want to add, she's 0% in the dupe system, SA1. I just have her at level 100. She really didn't even need to be at level 100. I just wanted her at level 100 because, right? So, but her being able to tank all of that damage, like, did you see all those attacks? Like, that's crazy. There's got to be 8 or 9 attacks in that second slot, and she literally tanked it for 0 damage. So her importance to this team cannot be undersold. Brienne, by the way, I haven't even talked about. She is crazy, by the way. But just by the way, I mean, I don't know if I've ever talked about Brienne, I would say the one thing that holds her back just ever so slightly, is that she's shattering the limit. But that is a very small complaint. But remember that she is lowering attack and defense, and that is 10% per Peppy Gal on the team, which we have 3, right? You know, we've got her, we've got Kalen Caulifla, and Tech Caulifla. And then, of course, she is providing support to all of them at 30%, and then 30% attack and defense, and then key 2. And she herself is getting 120% attack and defense. You know, again, I think the point has been made already Like, if she was literally any other unit, she'd be considered one of the best units in the game. But because she's Ribrianne, everyone hates Ribrianne, right? She's kind of like the Jar Jar Binks of Dragon Ball Super, right? Just everyone hates her. So if you take all of those things into account, she is definitely one of the tippy top units in the game. I mean, you've noticed for the majority of the run, unless we have type disadvantage, she's tanking everyone for double digits, and that is not by accident. Oh, and then by the way, she seals. On top of all of that, she seals super attacks. So, you know, rendering one of your opponents useless, you know, rendering them, you know, not able to super attack is a very, very important ability in Super Battle Road. Because super attacks, generally speaking, are what get you killed for the most part, unless you have units that just can't tank at all. So anyway, guys, that is kind of what it is, but Ribrianne is absolutely crazy. Goku and Frieza here are still one of the very, very hardest hitting units in the game. Mine is currently rocking just 2 dupes. I was not lucky like the homie DBZ Blaze. I don't have that DBZ Blaze luck, but he has his boy Rainbowed, which is crazy. That unit came out, it's hard to believe, but that unit is closing in on 2 years old, and they are still just as good as ever. Maybe they're not quite as busted as they once were. They were widely considered, like by a mile, like the best unit in the game. Jiren activating his stun, by the way, is so incredibly helpful. We wouldn't have taken much damage here, but this is the friend Jiren. So him in that last slot, we would have taken a ton of damage from Evolution Blue Vegeta and maybe not got the W. But at a certain point, like, again, you're trying these no item runs, you have to kind of work with what you're given. And then Jiren, we got lucky, right? Jiren getting that stun, very, very helpful. And obviously you guys were able to tell, you could see it in, I believe it's the upper left-hand corner, right? You can see it of the characters' icons. I'm telling you, like I mentioned it earlier, but dude, that friend system has to be updated. The easiest thing to do is you do what they do on Trident, right? All you do is you just make a mirrored friend lead. And then that way, hey, guess what? If I want to run Peppy Gals, I can use Int Ribrianne, and I can use a rainbowed friend Int Ribrianne as well. And guess what? You can keep the friend system. It's very, very easy. You can still have 100 friends on your list. Shit, add more friends to the friend list. Why not? It's not that big of a deal. Just cycle through your friends, right? You know, you'll have more friends to choose from. It's not a bad thing. I don't understand why they've limited it this long. Again, it's probably similar to this whole updating of links. It's just, for whatever reason, it's taken them a long time to kind of figure out all of the, the values of all the links, and then to, of course, implement it, you know, and then, of course, do the app update and the data download. It's taken a long time, but this is something that has been needed to be done for, like, I don't know, it's probably since before I started playing the game. You know, something like. They've been doing percentage-based stuff for a very, very long time now. It's not like this is some new phenomenon where all of the units have been based on percentages and not flat buffs. For all of you OGs out there, if any of you are watching this video, maybe you can fill me in. What were the first units that were percentage-based? Was it AGL Vegito? Because I know that his leader skill was absolutely crazy for the day, right? 70% attack, defense, and HP, and then 3 key. But I don't know if he was the first. I don't recall if he was the first that gave percentages. I know that it had to have been around that time, though. But anyway, guys, any flat buffs, I cannot, again, I know we've talked a lot about it in this video, but I just cannot wait for that update. It's so exciting. And then here we go. We are going to close it out here, guys. I know that this is kind of a slower run, but again, you bring a unit like Tech Caulifla that doesn't have a Dokkan Awakening yet. I mentioned her Dokkan Awakening earlier. That will be coming with the Kefla celebration. So we will be getting the Dokkan Awakenings for Caulifla and Kale. I think the Kefla celebration, there's one of two choices, one of two options, in my opinion. They're going to try to squeeze it in before the 300 million download celebration to literally, if you weren't sucked dry enough on stones from the 5-year, they're going to suck you even more dry from, you know, kind of hanging old Kefla out there to summon, because she is crazy busted, by the way. I can't wait for Kefla. So it's either that or it's going to be the celebration right after. So I suppose if they did it in the celebration right after, then maybe after that you can drop LR Jiren. It is possible. I'm trying to think what LR Jiren's spot would be. Let's see. Would that be full power Frieza spot-ish? Could be. Could be. I think we got him in October. Yeah, we got him for Halloween last year. I could definitely see LR Jiren coming for Halloween. That seems to line up okay. I could see that. And then we will more than likely be getting the Blue Boys, the Beyond Blue LR. We could be getting Jiren right after that. I mean, I'm trying to think. Are there any LRs we're missing? So I did a quick fact check. We are not missing any LRs except for, of course, from the top legendary summon banner that will be dropping literally in mere days. I think 4 days it's dropping on the global side. That honestly, like, that makes a lot of sense that maybe for Tanabata, we'll be getting the Blue Boys in November with Tanabata. I mean, presumably. That would make sense that they would drop Jiren before. To me, that makes sense. And then maybe after that, they do a global first after Tanabata. That's what I think they're going to do. But we'll have to revisit this at a later time, because now I have to actually give it some thought here. It would actually make a lot of sense now if I think about it. If they drop Kefla right... Well... Boy, oh boy, I don't know. I just don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to get back to y'all. That's a topic for another video, I suppose. Did Jiren get his stun here again? No, but he is sealed. So at this point, this is all but a victory. Type disadvantage in that first slot, but guess what? Doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. Such a busted ability. Pure Saiyans is a big percentage of the game. So the fact that she gets guaranteed dodges against them is absolutely crazy. Oh, also, by the way, infinitely stacks attack and defense. I don't know if I mentioned that already. So still going to be effective in something like the Legendary Goku event, even though she can't dodge Goku as Int, right? Int UI Goku obviously disables dodging. We know that at this point. Does Jiren get the dub here? I forget. That would be very fitting if he did, of course, against UI Omen, that is. And we do get the double super here, and Jiren is going to finish it out for us. So guys, this no item run, I would say was pretty easy. This was like try number 2 after I pulled Tech Caulifla. So very, very easy. Again, a good one to kind of get my feet wet again. But that is the video, guys. Slap a like if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think about everything we talked about. Of course, consider subscribing if you're new. I absolutely love you guys. Thank you so very much for your support. It means a lot. And I will catch all of you in the next one. Later.